Right, the purpose of this video is to give you some guidance on how to connect to the Peacekeeper information environment, and the way we'll approach it is examine the purpose first of all and then look at what we'll cover. So this is an instructional video so that at the end of the day you'll be able to set up Chrome, log on to our domain, gain access to our filing system and our intranet, just as the heading does indicate. We'll cover setting up Chrome, logging onto the domain, logging on to SharePoint through OneDrive, because it's a lot easier to use through OneDrive, and setting up access to our intranet. Once we've done all of that, I'll have learned some lessons from the video. What I did and didn't include, I'll adjust the video a little bit and we'll leave it on the intranet so that it's there as we have onboarders, as new people come on board, and secondly, so that it's a point of reference on how to set this up, just in case you need to go back and set it up again. So let's move on now and have a look at what we're talking about. Chrome. Now, of course, I'm talking about Windows here, and for those that have Macs, I hope you can follow along. But if you can't, then just give me a call afterwards, and we can log on and set it up. And I want to make it clear to everybody that, you know, whilst it is instructional, I don't expect that everyone can do this, because sometimes it's just not a thing that you can pick up. So don't sit there and get frustrated after you've watched the video. If it still doesn't make sense, that's okay. It's normal. Just let me know, and I'll remote on by TeamViewer and do it rather quickly. But I just thought I'd send it out so that at least probably half of us can do it, and that just takes a little bit of load off me, that's all. So we'll see how we go. But certainly, why use Chrome? Well, and why use a specific browser? Well, really, it's just the Peacekeeper's standard operating environment, for want of a better word. Not a rigid lockdown one that you would have, say, in defence, but a fairly flexible one, so that if something goes wrong that's on an application that sits on our browser, I've only got to worry about the browser underneath, not a multitude of browsers. So that's why we selected Chrome, because it's fairly popular. If you don't use Chrome, then you're probably using Microsoft Edge or one or two of the other applications, and you can still use that for your own personal use. There's no doubt about it. But for Peacekeepers, we ask that you use Chrome and set it up as we show here today. This picture shows a person that's already using Chrome, and at the end of the day, they would have their own version for home use. And when you're not doing your own personal business, you click onto the Peacekeeper version on the right, and you're off and away with that. Why do we do that? Because when you set your computer up initially, Microsoft Office, Teams, it all gets integrated into that browser. Some microphones set up, speakers set up, a whole host of things. And once you start introducing another domain like Peacekeepers, or your own work domain, it can sometimes get a little bit out of sync with what's what. And when you go to log on to a Teams meeting or do something, it'll be set up for a different organisation. And we just want to move away from that. So again, at the end of the day, we'll just have the Peacekeeper settings on their own as shown here. And for people that actually also have a full-time job, this slide here shows that a person has a situation where they've got their own home instance of Chrome, They work at PM and C, so they've got PM and C network, and of course they've got the Peacekeeper one on the right-hand side. So it just shows how it's a better professional way that's more stable to set things up on your computer. Once we've done that, I'll show you what it looks like, just so you can comprehend all of that. But this is my background on my computer. That's the Lower Zambezi at Manapools in Zimbabwe. Quite a nice little area. And this is what I'm talking about. So we'll open up Chrome and we get that selection. Pick the APPVA and our intranet comes up. We can then go ahead and do all that work. Close it and open Chrome again. You get the selection. I'll pick my home use and it comes up, and then I'll pick a work use instance, and it's got our works intranet. So that's really what we're talking about, just separating things. It's nice sound practice. Once we've done that, on the Peacekeeper version of Chrome, we'll log on using our Peacekeeper email address. And once we've gone and done that, we'll synchronise Outlook with OneDrive. And that will give us the ability to look at OneDrive, as you see on the right-hand side, in that familiar context, which is through Windows Explorer, Windows File Explorer. And you'll see there that our filing system is in fact numbered at the highest level, 1 through to 11. It's just simply it's because the way I do it. Provides a little bit of formality to the way the directories are laid out, and we'll look at that later as to how we go through that and how it all operates. Once we've achieved that, we'll use that URL that I sent with the email, and we'll be able to log on to the intranet, and I'll give you a guided tour around it. And lastly, once we've done that, I'll learn some lessons from the video as to what I didn't include. I'll adjust it and then put that on the intranet. So with that as it is, we'll now move to looking at how to set up Chrome. Right, now this section of the video is where we go and install Chrome. Now, this part is for those of us that have not got Chrome on their computer. If you've already got Chrome on your computer, just sit back, have a cuppa for a few minutes, and I'm just going to help those that don't have Chrome download it and install it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up your Internet Explorer browser that you might use. Normally in Windows, it'll be Edge, which is this one down the bottom here. And you'll get your URL up the top here. And what I'd like you to do is to type in download Chrome and hit return. Then we move down to download now, and we click on download now. And in true computer fashion, it asks you to do it again. Download Chrome. And you can see up the top here, it's downloaded. And you'll find it in the downloads folder, which a handy way to get there is just to click on this tiny little icon just here. And we'll jump in and we'll find it. And you can see I've downloaded it a couple of times there. But there's Chrome set up just here. And what we'll do is we'll double click on that and start to install it. So like this, do that, and you'll get this little message come up, and you go yes, and it will start installing Chrome. All nice and neat. download complete. Okay, it's continuing to install. Right, must not have finished. And then finally it'll finish downloading, which it has. And we should be able to see, there we go, by clicking on the Windows menu item, you see that Client Chrome's been recently added. So before we go to that, what we'll do is we'll oh, there it goes, it pops up for us. And Chrome has now popped up. Down the bottom right, don't sign in. Just click on don't sign in. I wouldn't set it as your default browser just yet. So you just click skip. And there you have Chrome on your computer. The next steps that I'd say to do are move over to, just so we set it up, move over to the three dots on the right hand side, and I just want to go down to settings, which should be down the bottom here, and then over to autofill. Click on that, and oops, I went too fast then, sorry. Payment methods, click on that and just turn off so it doesn't record those details and things that you don't particularly want. Leave the password manager on at the moment, unless you've already got a password manager. If you've already got a password manager that you're using, what you would do is you'd go in here now and you'd click on settings and you'd turn this off. But we'll have to address password managers as part of our standard operating environment so that we have security for our passwords. But if you at the moment don't have one and you use Google Chrome and you use the browser and you're used to it, well, just leave it on and we'll address that as soon as we can. So I do hope that makes sense. And then back to the three dots here, down to bookmarks, across and down to show bookmarks bar. And we click on that, and then we see we get a little bit more space just below below this area where we can bookmark shortcuts to certain things. So that's where we are at, and we've downloaded Chrome, we've installed it. Now this is where it could come in for those that might already have. No, it's not right. Now, theoretically, I could ask everybody else to come in now that's already got Chrome, but I won't. I'll just continue down this path, and we'll finish this off with the people that have just got a single instance of Chrome. What I'll ask you to do is just click on this round circle at the top here, and then come down and customize your profile. You've got name your profile, call it Peacekeepers, and pick a colour here you might like. You might like pink or purple. I like blue, so I'll put blue there. And just click anywhere else, and that saves. Go back up to this area. See how it's already called Peacekeepers. So we know that this is the Peacekeepers version of Chrome. Now, I'll continue on with just those people that have not had Chrome installed before, and then come back. I will. I'm sorry to change my mind halfway through, but we'll just continue with those people where it's just the first time they've got Chrome, and we'll set up the log on as log on to our domain. Now, by clicking a new tab the first time, you might get this up. Just click on Got It. And what I want you to do is go Office 365 Portal. So Office 365 Portal, you pop that in and then you hit Return. And here we've got Login, and then we sign in. I just want to emphasise that you don't have to ever do this again. This is just a one-off exercise, all of this. Your you want to log in now, so we'll put our email address in. Okay, like this. And we'll go next. And I can't spell peacekeepers, so there we go, let's fix that up. And then our password. Now, when we sign in, you should be directed to your multi-factor authentication device, which is Microsoft Authenticator. When you originally logged on, it should have asked you to set that up, but some people may just be getting a text message instead. So if it doesn't come up on your mobile phone asking you to go to your authenticator, you'll get a text message instead and need to put that text message number in. So let's just see what happens. I'll put my password in, and you can tell I've actually been told to go to my authenticator, and I'm going to put in those numbers, and that way that it actually authenticates that it's me, not somebody else trying to log on to my account. As I say, some of you might get a text message, and then you put the text message figures in. Don't show this again, and yes. Now I'll continue on with the people that this is the first time they've got Google Chrome. What I'd like you to do is click on the word admin down the bottom here, and then I want you to look at where it's got these 9 dots, not the 4 dots, but the 9 dots. Click on that, and then we get a number of Microsoft programs. You'll have less, but look for SharePoint. It's green, and I want you to click on SharePoint. And when we do that, we get all these sites down here, the frequent sites. For those with a big screen, you'll see them on all on the one screen. But as you can see here, I'm using a laptop, and so I just had to scroll down a bit. These are a number of SharePoint sites that we've got. The only one I want you to look at is this one here, which has got APPVA on it, and I just clicked on it. I'll just go back to show you again. So I only want you to do this one with APPVA, it's green and it's got a red stripe with modern written on it. So click on that and then documents. And you can see here that we've got all our directories and whatnot, and they're in SharePoint. You're looking at SharePoint, and it's a bit awkward to use SharePoint. So what we're going to do is we're going to synchronize it to OneDrive so that it's easy to use. And in that case, we click on Sync, and we get this message. Whenever you do that, would you always like me to open OneDrive? You go, yes, I would. And then click here to open OneDrive. And if you do get this message, just close it. It starts to set up OneDrive for you automatically. It puts your email address in, sign in, and then you just click yes, yes, yes as we go along. And I'm not sure why I've just got that message come up, but hey, it's good if you do get that message come up. You just put your password in again. Normally you don't get that. So I've just used my authenticator to authenticate that. And for those that have got text messages, you'll get a text message and you'll need to put the 6-digit number in. Once you've done that, you'll get this sign, and just know only this app on the right hand side. So click on that, and then next you'll get this little error message. That's because we've got a couple of domains running. As I said before, when you've got a couple of domains, things get a bit complex. So you just go next, 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 and you're at the second last one now when it gets to mobile, and you go later, and it says, hey, OneDrive is ready for you. Would you like to open it? So we click on it and open it, and we see our OneDrive document directory sitting there, and it will start to populate 1 through to 11. We can click over to the left-hand side. In fact, I'll make this larger. Click over to the left-hand side, and we can see it's the Australian Peacekeeper and Peacemaker Veterans Association documents. We go inside the documents, and it's just downloading them at a great rate of knots. There's a way to see that. I'll just show you. Click here, and you can see that they're downloading them and putting them in. There's quite a few megabytes, and it'll eventually populate that whole directory system for you, and you'll be able to navigate it properly. Now, what I'd like to show you here is that everybody's got this essentially access to everything, but for if you're not a board member, you won't be able to get access to the board directory. That's nice and simple. Me being a super administrator, I can get access to anything. So that's fine. Advocates, and I'll show this for you. So you see governance just popped up then. For advocates, only advocates can click through that area, and we've got Laurie, Etienne, Paul Copeland, and Wade. Now, Wade and Paul's details haven't come down yet, but say, for example, if I was Laurie, I wouldn't be able to see Etienne's directory. I'd go into my own, and I won't because it's got confidential information in it. That's where advocates store their confidential information, not on their laptops, because if your laptop breaks, you lose all that data. Whereas if you save it here, it gets backed up by Microsoft daily. So if your laptop goes down, then there's always a copy on SharePoint. Now, you can only look in your own directories, except for Wade. Wade can look into everybody's because he's the manager for quality assurance purposes. And should you guys want another directory in there, just all talk about it yourselves, and Wade will tell me what he might like the advocacy directory to look like. Like I've got a spare area there, forms, just as an example. But you can see now everything's starting to download. So that's the directory for you guys, and we'll go back, and we've now got access to our filing system, which is good, and so we can prove that to ourselves by closing it down, that one, and then going into our file explorer here, going over to the right, left-hand side in the Peacekeeper area, and seeing everything, all our files in here. Now, it's really important that you remember that when you see this on your computer, it's our copy. It's our corporate copy. So don't go in and delete anything, please. If you do, please tell Mark or I straight away. We will know anyway, because whenever something gets deleted, we are told, because we can then undelete it, because it's not normal that people delete things from SharePoint. So that's set up. And the last thing I'll do with you guys that have just installed Chrome for the first time is set you up on the intranet. So we will go back to Chrome, which we've got here. We'll go back to our directory and pick up our URL for our intranet, and that's in your email that I sent you. Just highlight the whole URL and copy it, and then once you've copied it, paste it in there, and you can see there it is there, with Peacekeeper Intranet on the end of it, and you just hit return, and then we've got the intranet up. We'll finish off with 2 steps, and then I'll go to the people that have already got Chrome, and we'll get everybody up to the same stage, and we'll have a tour around the intranet. But the last thing I want you guys to do is to go on these 3 dots, go down to bookmarks, so the 3 dots on the right, down to bookmarks, which I've missed, and go bookmark this tab. You'll get this little sign come up, just make it intranet only, and go done, and you'll see over here that there's a shortcut. You haven't got to paste this in anymore. So if you're coming in fresh, you'd just see that like that and click on it. But we're going to do one thing better. We're going to copy that URL. We're going to go down into the 3 dots here and go all the way down to the bottom settings, and I want you to go over to the left-hand side and on Startup. Click, open a specific page, add a new page, paste that in, go add, and then close the whole of Google Chrome. And then what I want you to do is find Chrome again. Here it is here. Open it up, and the intranet will automatically open up every time you come to the Peacekeeper version of it. Now, this is prompting you to set it as your default web browser. And all that means is that every time you open a web browser, you open Chrome. You may or may not want to do that. If you've got questions about it, just give me a call. I'll tell you the advantages and disadvantages about it. But I'll just turn it off for the moment because a lot of people like their browsers because they like them. We're using this so that we have a common browser. So all we need to do now is have a tour of SharePoint. And for those people that have just installed Chrome, just park it there for the moment, and we'll go now, and I'll show those people that have got Chrome already installed just what to do. So those that just did all that work, you guys have a rest. Everybody else that has already got Chrome on their computer, I want you to jump in now and start to set it up. So open up Chrome so that you get a screen similar to this. And right, so now I'd like the attention of everybody that's already got Chrome installed prior to this lesson, and I'd like you to just open up Google Chrome. You won't have our intranet pop up. You won't. And sorry, I'm just clicking off a few things that shouldn't come up just yet because this is a demonstration. So now I want you to open up Google Chrome as we've done. And this is your home version. What I would like you to do is to add a Chrome profile, which is down here. So that's clicking on the person's little face there. Go down to add Chrome profile. Continue without an account. And type in Peacekeepers. Okay, spelled it right, yep. Pick your colour you might want and go done. And don't worry about that error message, but you'll see that it's got called Peacekeepers. And we can now check this by opening up Google Chrome again. and you'll now have, and this has been a bad demonstration, you probably should have had nothing in here actually. Yeah, I'll just go back and go over that again. When you open it up, you should have peacekeepers plus one which is not peacekeepers. It wouldn't have a heading on it. And in that one, you would just type home, or your first name. You might want to change the colour of it a bit to make it a fraction different, and then close it off again. Open up Chrome again, and there you can see you've got your two selections. I've got my own work that I do normally, which is there, and on the other one, which I've incorrectly named them. I've got my Peacekeeper one, and I'll just make some minor adjustments here on the fly. No, I won't actually. I'll leave it as it is. We've now got our own personal one and Peacekeepers on. I want you to open up Peacekeepers, and what I'd like you to do now is go up to the three dots, go down to bookmarks and show the bookmark bar. There it is here, got a bit of extra space. Click on the three dots, go down to settings and across to autofill and passwords. Here in payment methods, turn those off so it doesn't record them, and only leave the Google Password Manager on if that's what you've been using as your password manager. If you've already got a password manager, then go up on to the password manager, go to settings and turn it off completely. And then you can close that off. Close the browser, open it up again, and go back into Peacekeepers. Now what we're going to do is log on to the Peacekeeper domain, and we do that by going Office 365 portal, return. Sorry, you can tell I learned how to type on a typewriter. What I mean there is press enter. Hit login, sign in, and put your email address. Hit next. Password. And remember, you'll either be asked to look at your authenticator, or you'll get a text message. I've got my authenticator, and I've got to put in 33 for it to know that it's me, and it's comfortable that it's me. Don't show this again, and go yes. And then we get to this particular screen, and those that didn't have authenticators would have got text messages to get this far. We're not far away now, we're almost finished. We go down to admin, and then we go, after we've clicked on admin, we go up to the 9 dots here. We click on those 9 dots, and we go across to SharePoint. We click on SharePoint. We look at our SharePoint sites until we see this one that's called APPVA, that's a green and it's got a red line across it saying modern. We click on that. Then we look at documents. We click on that. And now you can start to see all our directories. And what we're going to do is synchronize them. Now, what you'll see on my computer will be just fractionally different than yours because mine has already done this before. So it'll just be fractionally different. So we'll synchronize. You'll get this little warning message here saying, do you want me to always open SharePoint when I go into OneDrive? You just say yes, open OneDrive. Your email address will be populated straight in here and you go sign in. And then you go next. Now I get this message because I've already logged on before. And I'm just going to use the current folder I had before. You guys will instead get this error message. Just go next over that. And then next, next, next. And we're at the second last page, so we go later. And here we can open up OneDrive. And there it is there, it'll pop up. Just maximize your screen. And you can see over on the left-hand side, you've got the Peacekeeper directories. And they all live within our documents directory. And here you can see that everything is still synchronizing and downloading. And you would have already seen that only board members can get into board and only advocates can go into advocacy. Now, the next step to catch up with everybody else is to close that off and go to Chrome, and I want you to just go and pick up that link that I popped in your email, and I want you to paste it in there like that. You can tell it because it's got Peacekeeper Intranet on the end of it. So grab that URL and then hit to enter, and the Peacekeeper Intranet should come up like that. I want you to go across to the right hand side where the three dots are, go down to bookmarks and go bookmark this tab, and just trim the name a little to just Intranet and go done. And there you have the shortcut to it, which we can close, open a new tab, and instead of pasting in the URL, we can click on it there. And the last step I want you to take is to copy that URL, go in to settings, which is just down the bottom a little, go across to on startup, open a specific page, add a new page, paste that in, add it, and now we can close the whole Chrome, open it up again. I want to go to Peacekeepers, and when Peacekeepers opens, the intranet will come up on the front page, which is what it's designed to do. It should be the first thing you look at whenever you open up, start work on a Peacekeeper activity. So that's where we're at now. The last phase is to look at the intranet. Thank heavens, says everyone, because it's been quite a long video. But so I want everybody in on this one, please. The first thing I want to do is I'll just show you around it. The logo, if you ever get lost, you just click on the logo and you come back to the home page. Nice and easy. The forms and document libraries aren't anything that we're going to use at the moment, but at some stage later we will use them, because I haven't finished this intranet. It's still got a little bit of work to go to finish, and you'll see that pretty soon. It's got a search bar, so you can search for items, such as, let's put in our child protection policy. I want to pull that up, and it comes up in one of our posts there as the child safe policy. So yeah, the search works quite well, but I'll just take us back to the front. You'll see a welcome sign, your name, how many emails that are unread that are Peacekeeper emails. You've then got time zones, which is really handy, particularly in summertime. For us on the eastern coast, we don't want to go calling people at 9 a.m. in Perth when 6 a.m. in Perth. We'll move down this right side. We'll see a number of shortcuts. Now, onboarding is the area that people will go through as they join. It's nowhere near looking at in terms of completeness, so no need to go there just yet. Managing the Peacekeeper website. I will click on that, because that's at the moment for people like Rod and Mark, how to do things, and for example, how to add a news item. It's got the full instructions on what they need to do and how they need to do it. So that's handy for them. We've got a help desk, and we've got two talented help desk people at the moment. Horner fellow and myself. I put Mark's name there because up front, because he's the expert, not me. No, I'm only joking. It's really just so that people start to get used to contacting Mark and not me. I go back by clicking on the logo to the home page. We've got an organisation chart, which isn't exactly the way that I would have liked it, but hey, everything costs money. So the first part of it shows the board in a vertical manner. I would rather the normal, conventional way, but that's all we could afford at the moment. And if I can see I've still got Jess's name in there, I've just got to remove that one. But let's say Chris Moss, you can just hover over their card and their contact details and telephone numbers will pop up. Just something to be aware of. And if you're on a mobile device, you can just click on it and give them a call, send them an email. Below that, we've got the actual company itself proper, which is led by Rod. And we've got Rod Hutchings and Marty Hess that are off to the side and their roles. And then we've got our advocates to the left and our state representatives on the right. And lastly, we've got the issues and research team, which consists of Guy, who many people know. People won't know Tony Brady, but he is a historian. We haven't used him yet, but he's certainly there. And Andrew Wood has been my HR advisor for the last 20 years. He may or may not come on board. So no need to give him a call or anything just yet. But he's certainly there. He's a member of the Peacekeepers, not a full member, but a member. Okay, back to the front. Here in the letterheads and logos area is information which everybody always asks for. And what's our ABN? what's our ACN number? And what's our certificate? Where's our constitution? Where's our letterhead? What's our logo? I can use it for something? Um, uh, what's our insurance policy details? If you click on those, they'll all pop up and use them. So, whoops, sorry. So they're there under useful links. And second last area I'll show you is the calendar. So the calendar is a month-long calendar, and it will also have the commemorative dates on it, the ones that that Rod Hutchings writes about, and also any other commemorative dates that we need to be aware of. Plus, um, we'll enhance the actual APPVA calendar in the dark green, and we'll have the board meeting dates so people can see them, pushed out to 12 months so that we can plan ahead. And public holidays are just all in there for every state. So when you're planning an activity, you can certainly see where they are. If you pick a day and you just need to be aware that it might be a public holiday in that state. If the calendar gets too cluttered, you can click on that and turn off the public holidays. And likewise, you can turn off the other or turn it back on. So how to actually use that is the subject of another lesson. The last thing I want to show you is news, because this is where we really get the value. And people like Mark, Rod, Henderson, Wade, and the state reps, when they get a little bit more confident with this, will be able to post news items. And news items, for example, it's one I've posted and said we've got new corporate policies. So then the new anti-discrimination, new whistleblower, social media policy, I had them redone in my business, so I've just renamed them Peacekeepers. I just need someone to proofread them before we post them and ask everybody to read them and acknowledge that they've read them. But that's the SharePoint instance. It also has a project area, and we'll have a dashboard for that on the front. And anything else that we think we need, it'll have a suggestions area as well. But that concludes all the areas that we needed to get through today. I think go through and identify if you can see the areas that you're allowed to see. If you can't see something, please don't punch, I want access, because that sends an email to about 4 or 5 people. Just send me an email saying, Ian, I can't get access to this directory, that directory, or this page. And the way to do that, for example, is say, for example, if you wanted to get in here and you couldn't, it just came up with the URL, nothing underneath it. You just take a copy of the URL and write to me and say, hey, I can't get access here, Ian. And why not? And if you're allowed in there, I'll give you access. That is the lesson today. So just to sum up, we covered a lot of ground that you'll never have to cover again, which is all that configuration issue. The main things we got out of it were that we can go in now through OneDrive and see our directories. Everybody can gain access to everything, but only board members can gain access to the board directory, and only advocates to the advocacy area. And likewise, we got Chrome going, and this is for those that have already had Chrome on their computers. Click on Peacekeepers, and you go straight into our intranet. That concludes the lesson today. I It's a long lesson, but that's why it's necessary to have a peacekeeper instance, because being logged onto our domain will stay there forever. And that will mean that we won't have any problems, or you won't have any problems, when you use Teams and other applications like that. Problems? Give me an email, and we'll go from there. That concludes it, and I look forward to hearing from people. I'll send out this to a couple of guinea pigs first of all, and that are happy to be guinea pigs, and they'll go through and just check to make sure all that works on theirs, and then I'll distribute it to everybody else. Thanks very much then.